Hello, good evening. I'm Sophia Toma Cruz, and with me today is Bonds Magsambal. We're both multimedia reporters of Rappler, who just covered the recently concluded Senate hearing on the COVID-19 vaccine program of the Duterte government. Welcome to another edition of Rappler Recap. What we're going to do today is take you through some key moments and takeaways of the Senate hearing, which is the third hearing that senators held to evaluate where we are in the Duterte government's COVID-19 vaccine program, what else is still needed, and some unresolved issues that need to be addressed. The first of that, of course, was we saw it in today's hearing that senators agreed with vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr. to only tackle prices once vaccine deals would be finalized. So this was a very contentious issue that was raised in recent hearings and caused a lot of debate among senators and pandemic officials on the overall transparency of the government's COVID-19 vaccine program and how that was not really helping the public to be confident in the vaccines that the government was choosing for its rollout. But in this hearing in particular, senators agreed to only tackle that issue later on once deals would be finalized because Galvez mentioned that if he were to reveal these prices before the deals would be closed, then it could jeopardize the entire order itself. And also, consequently, the negotiations that the country was having with different manufacturers. The price in particular was an issue for Sinovac because some senators were saying that um, it seemed like the government was had a preference for Sinovac, even if their prices were reportedly expensive and the efficacy data of the vaccine wasn't really clear yet. So today we saw senators saying, "Okay, we'll let you observe those confidentiality agreements on the condition that Galvez reveal them later on in due time when that would be allowed," which is something that Galvez agreed to as well. So that issue was finally resolved today, and we saw senators actually vouching for Galvez's character and integrity after some tense hearings last week. And another key moment that took place during the hearing today was that Health Secretary Francisco Duque III mentioned that he would try to convince President Duterte to get vaccinated in public. Now, the reason why that is a key piece of information is that a lot of lawmakers, both in the House and Senate, have been raising concern over vaccine hesitancy in the Philippines. They noticed that it was seemed to be increasing the closer we were getting to a rollout, which of course is a cause for concern because it's one thing to have vaccines in the country, but to have nobody receive them, then vaccines would be rendered useless if no one was willing to get them. So Senator Nancy Binay raised the prospect of, she actually asked pandemic officials, "Would you convince the president to get vaccinated in public because this could boost confidence in a vaccine?" And Duque mentioned that they would try to, but ultimately respect the decision of Duterte to either get vaccinated in public or not. It's worth noting, though, that in different countries, some officials have gotten vaccinated in public to exactly for that purpose to boost public confidence in their government's vaccine rollout.
Okay, thank you, Sophia. So during that 7 hour long hearing, Senator Ralph Recto also brought up the issue on priority list groups for the vaccination program. So Senator Recto was particularly pushing for the teachers to be included in the priority list next to healthcare workers. So yung pinagagalingan ni Senator Ralph Recto dito is that para ma-restore yung normalcy in the education sector. So why this matters for the longest time, for 10 months now, the Philippines has been implementing distance education. So nag-spark siya, it has been widely criticized because of the unprepared system ng Pilipinas when it comes to remote learning. So it has exposed the gaps in the Philippine education, maraming errors in modular learning. At the same time, nagkaroon ng gaps sa nagkaroon ng naging evident yung digital divide because there are students who don't have access at all to technologies needed for online learning. While kasi yung teachers, for context lang din, yung teachers, hindi siya kasama sa top 5 na priority ng government when it comes to the vaccine rollout. So, nandun siya sa pinaka-baba kasi parang kailangan nila, kasi since limited pa yung supply at hindi pa rin tayo ganun, struggling pa rin tayo when it comes to procurement of the vaccine, kailangan mas yung nag-devise sila ng priority group. So yeah, so maganda yung premise ni Senator Ralph Recto na kailangan na, of course, kailangan din ng normalcy sa education sector kasi nga sobrang struggling din talaga yung mga estudyante natin ngayon at the same time yung mga teachers when it comes to distance learning. Pero kasi if ibabakunahan natin yung mga teachers natin, kailangan din na makakuha ng bakuna yung mga estudyante. Pero the problem there is that the COVID-19 vaccines currently being developed by different pharmaceuticals around the world is can only be used for ages 16 to 18 and above. So hindi pa kasali dito yung age group na mas mabababa. Though yung leading vaccine manufacturers like Pfizer and Moderna, nag-start na sila ng clinical trials involving children mas mabababang age group like 10 to 12 last October and December. Pero hindi pa siya agad na ilalabas because it will take time. They need to evaluate kung ano yung magiging result ng clinical trials.
Mm-mm. Right. Tapos isa pang issue na na-raise sa Senate hearing was orders being made by local governments and private sectors. So several senators asked Galvez to clarify ano yung magiging scheme ng ordering kung yung private groups are ordering in the same LGU that is also making orders, because what they want to avoid is a situation where we're over ordering vaccines, or the government is ordering vaccines, but at the same time, and including them in their master list and priority list, but at the same time, you have small businesses or big business groups also ordering for the exact same for the same individuals. So this is an issue that needs to be resolved, and vaccines, Galvez mentioned that what they're trying to do right now is have local governments and private groups coordinate with one another to make sure that they're not ordering for the same people. Pero sa ngayon wala pang fixed or set number of set guidelines in writing. So senators recommended and advised Galvez to have that in writing, or to at least iron it out and really make sure that that's something that both private sector and LGUs understand.
Okay. So, and isa din na pag-usapan in relation to children going out of vaccination. Ganun. So earlier this morning, the Duterte administration has allowed kids 10 years and older to go out, to step aside outside their home starting February 1. So na-bring up yung issue na to sa Senate hearing with Senator Pia Cayetano asking the government why they are allowing 10 years old to go out na wala pa namang vaccine, pero at the same time ayaw nilang magkaroon ng face-to-face classes. Kung marirecall natin earlier this year, dapat meron na tayo, sisimulan na sana yung pilot implementation ng limited face-to-face classes, pero President Duterte took back his order kasi nagkaroon ng emergence ng new COVID-19 variant. So, may point si Senator Cayetano dito na bakit natin nahayaan na lumabas, mag-mall yung mga bata, magpunta sa mga park, basically lumabas, pero hindi natin sila hayaan na lumabas ng school. So, where's the logic there? And then yung sagot naman ni ni vaccine Carlito Galvez, sabi niya na pag-uusapan daw nila within the task force kung paano yung gagawin nila with the possible resumption of face-to-face classes this year. Ayun. And just to point out lang din, kasi na-bring up din ko kanina sa DOH briefing, na parang yung pag-aalaw sa mga bata na lumabas, baka magkaroon ng special case dito sa Manila because Metro Manila is still the epicenter of coronavirus. So regardless kung maging MGCQ tayo, it's still up to the Metro Manila mayors kung hahayaan nila na pwede nang lumabas yung bata yung mga bata na 10 years old. Pero outside Metro Manila, since the government task force has allowed it, basically pwede na silang lumabas. So yeah. So that's it for today's episode of Rappler Recap. Follow us on Rappler.com for continuing updates on the country's vaccination program. Again, I'm Bons Magsabon, and here with me is Sophia Thomas. Thank you, guys.